at that time, her her folks moved to White Salmon then because he got a job there in plumbing, and he was plumbing and heating. Al Rosebeer's Plumbing and Heating is set on his van, and of course, when school was out, then this was. Oh, I didn't tell you. I didn't say anything about going to school, but when Fern, we were riding back and forth, and she said, "Well, I decided I'm going to go to Columbia." And I said to myself, when I read that, "Oh, I've got to go to Columbia too." So I told the folks I'm going to go to Columbia Academy to go to school this next year, and they said, "No way! You don't need to go to Columbia. Why don't you just stay going to Portland Union Academy?" It was called in those days.
They wanted to keep you close?
Yeah.
They didn't want to pay the extra
Oh, the tuition.
Yeah,
board and room.
Okay.
Anyway, actually, it wasn't because of paying the extra, because I paid my own way. That was another story altogether that I ought to tell sometime. But anyway, I made my own way, and I worked as much as I could and went to school. But when school was out, I told the folks I'm going to go to White Salmon. And by that time, of course, we were engaged, and we were planning to be married right after school was out.
How old would you have been, Dad? 19 at this point?
I was 19,
Yeah.
yeah. And so we planned a wedding, and
We didn't plan a wedding at that time.
yeah, at that time, after school's out.
No, we said we wanted to get married, but we would not get married without our parents'
Oh
blessing.
yeah,
And
well,
neither of
there
them.
was a little hitch in it there. We were planning on getting married, but the folks said, "Well, we're not going to sign," and we were not the age that we could get married without them signing. So
Really?
Yeah, they
At
had been
19
21.
and...
well, she was not the age. She
Oh.
would be old. And of course, I had to be 21 before I
Oh,
could,
I didn't know that.
and she had to be 18.
I think that's stricter than it is now. Seems
Anyway,
like...
I was one day I was in the house looking around. And I saw looked like an envelope on top of the piano.
This was at his parents' house.
That was at my house, at our house.
Mhm.
I looked at and I saw an envelope. I couldn't see who it was from. I thought, wonder who that is. And it was Fern's mother. I said, "Oh, I wonder what that could say." So I took it where I could read it, and I read in there, talked to the pastor the other day. Pastor Ring said, "You know what? If Lyle went to the service and never did come back, Fern would never forgive you guys. So I would recommend that you go ahead and sign, let them get married, and that will defer him at least for a while, and then he may not have to go even." So I wrote a letter right away to Fern. I says, "You know what? The folks are giving in. They're going to sign for us after all. So let's plan a date." So Fern, go ahead.
Anyway, we did plan a date, but need to get back to the army thing. The country was in war with Korea, and they were drafting the young men as soon as they graduated from high school, if they were single, or soon after. I mean, the summer after the school was out. So we knew that if we could get married after the school was out, that would give him a deferment. So many in the senior class were engaged and did get married that summer. But our parents were opposed to us getting married because we were too young, they felt, and they would talk to us and say, your marriage will never last. The statistics say that teenage marriages just are not long-term marriages.
Oh, wow.
And that has proven to be true. Of the many couples that were engaged in the school year, very few are still married. So anyway, we did go ahead and plan a wedding, and we wanted to be married in my home church at St. Helens, Oregon, but we had to have an Oregon license to do so. We were living in White Salmon, Washington, so we trotted ourselves across the river over to Hood River to get our marriage license. And lo and behold, they said, we won't issue it unless you have a signature of an adult. And we
Adult that knows you.
yes, and we thought, what are we going to do? And then Lyle remembered that his an old-time pastor that he thought a lot of lived in Hood River. So we went over to their house, and just the lady was home. She'd never seen me before, but she said, I'll go down and witness I know you. And so she did, and we got our marriage license, and then we're married on the 12th of August, as we had planned.
Mhm.
Is that enough?
That's great.